This video is a short explanation of some of the commands that we can use inside our terminal or command prompt. A lot of students ask me why we use the command prompt rather than using a script that compiles or runs our programs for us. We could absolutely do that. There is no advantage as a programmer to use a command prompt over something that's built into an IDE. However, as a computer scientist, it is important that you know what happens behind the visual aspect of your operating system. And these are very simple commands that allow simple basic navigation through your operating system and through the hard drive to specific folders to do specific jobs. They're not going to make you an exceptional programmer on their own. However, the more comfortable you are with these commands, the more familiar you are, the easier it is to do more complex and more advanced things. And when you can do advanced things in command line, ignoring your competency as a programmer, you will find it very good for job searches. You will find out that this is a skill that's dying out. A lot of people don't know how to use command prompts and command line actions correctly, or they don't have a wide-ranging skill of it. So it's a skill that we really should look at and we should exploit in small elements as often as possible to allow you to become more competent. So the very first command we looked at was dir, which gives you a directory structure. It lists out everything that's there. If you are using anything non-Windows systems, so Linux or Mac OS X, you can also type ls, that's L for Larry, S for snake, but this doesn't work inside Windows. The next command we looked at is cd. cd stands for change directory, and we'll be able to use this then by putting in our folder name at this point here. So that's not going to work there, folder name, but if I had a folder on my desktop called, actually, I'll tell you now, let me do this. Let me create a folder here, new folder, and we're going to call this new folder. That's fine. Go back to command line, and if I go cd new folder, it transfers me in, and then I can go dir again, and I can see there's nothing in that folder. The next series of commands, or the adaptation that we can use for our cd, for our change directory command, is to go back a directory. To go into a subdirectory is easy. We go cd space the name of the folder we want to go into. But to go back a directory, we need to do something a little bit different. So to go back a level up in our directory structure, we use the cd command and we type ... So cd and then 2 periods, and that should bring us up. So we can see here we're in users, Owen, desktop, new folder. And I press enter here. I'm now back to users, Owen, desktop. And if I go dir again, we are able to then go to and see that we have our Java file and our class file. So those 3 commands, dir, cd, and cd ... That really should be cd folder name. Those 3 commands will allow us for the majority of our navigation. We don't need them all the time, but they definitely will be speeding up the work that we have to do. The one last thing that I'd look at is how to go into multiple folders. So not just to go one folder in, but to go several folders in. So you can see here I'm 1, 2, 3 folders, and there's another folder, there's new desktop as well, or sorry, new folder. And so what I need to do is I need to check to see how do I do that. Well, if we get rid of all of this, I'm going to go, let's say, go back a folder, go back a folder. Okay, so what I can do here is I can use a combination of typing and the tab key to get me from I'm in the users folder all the way into my own desktop and then new folder. So this is how I do it. I type own, and you can see there I just type E and I press tab and it types out the rest of the word. I can go D, now I move to desktop, and then I can go N and hit tab again, and it brings me to a new folder. The reason why I put the quotation marks at the beginning and the end of the folder is because of this space here. Originally, when Windows was designed, it was designed with an upper limit of 8 characters for any folder name. When we got to Windows XP, which was around 2001, it allowed for larger file names, and for folder names, which meant that we had to be able to have longer folder names included into our file. So that's why we have the quotation marks there, just to make sure everything's in. So if I do this, it will bring me to that. So you can see that it jumped 3 directories deep doing that. And so that's quite useful. You don't have to do it, you can do one folder at a time. But the more familiar and the more often you use these commands, the more advanced you'll be able to do things with. There are a lot more commands that you can do in command line work, but for programming, that's probably enough. I may do a couple of more videos just on more advanced command prompt actions. However, that would be extracurricular. It wouldn't be really focused on our first year programming. Of course, in all of this, I am forgetting the 2 most important commands that you're going to be able to use and you're going to need to use within your Java course with me. The first one is javac to compile our programs. Oh, actually, we don't need to go back a level. So the first one is javac to compile your programs and to check if there's any errors, and the next one then is Java to run your programs. And so there are 4 to 5 little commands that are very, very helpful within command prompt. We have directory listing, so that's dir. If you're on Windows, and for every other operating system, you can use dir if you want, or you can use ls. We have cd and our folder name for changing into a lower folder, into a child folder. And then we have cd ... for going back up a level. And then of course we have javac and Java for running our Java programs, for compiling and running our Java programs. The last one, which is a super useful one, as you can see I have a lot of text here that I've been using. So the last one is CLS for clear screen, and what that does is it removes all of the prior work. And that gives you just a nice clean screen, especially if you're doing a lot of work. It's nice to be able to do that.